You want to understand the psychology of winning trades? Fine. But let me warn you right now. Most traders who ask that question aren't actually looking for truth. They're looking for comfort. And comfort is the most expensive addiction in the stock market. It costs more than blown accounts, more than bad tips, more than chasing the wrong trend. It costs you discipline. And once discipline is gone, you might as well wire your money directly to the market and stop pretending you're a trader. Look at you, you're here because you think there's some mental trick, some mindset hack, some secret perspective that separates the winners from the losers. And you're right, but not in the way you imagine. See, winning trades have nothing to do with brilliance. They're not the product of secret indicators or magical chart patterns or the moon hitting the right angle against your Fibonacci tool. Winning trades are boring. They're methodical. They're the children of patience and the grandchildren of discipline. It's losing trades that are exciting, dramatic, full of surprises. And most traders love surprises. That's why they lose. A winning trader isn't special. He's just willing to do what other traders refuse to do: wait. People love talking about courage in the stock market. They think courage is entering the market when things look dangerous. That's not courage, that's desperation disguised as confidence. Real courage is waiting for your price, even when the whole world is moving without you. Real courage is sitting on your hands while every part of your impatient spirit screams at you to act. Real courage is saying, I don't trade because I'm bored. I trade because my moment has arrived. You know why most traders lose? 3 reasons: ignorance, arrogance, and impatience. Let's talk about ignorance first. Ignorance is a decision in this business. There's too much information available now. When I traded, I had to rely on ticker tape, newspapers, rumors. Today you have real-time charts, economic data, AI analysis, financial research. Yet traders today are somehow more uninformed than ever. Not because the information isn't there, but because you're too busy looking for shortcuts. You want the PlayStation version of trading. You want cheat codes. You want signals and strategy packs and some guy on YouTube telling you when to buy. If you do that, you deserve every loss you take. Now let's deal with arrogance. This one is deadly. Most traders don't blow their accounts because the market beat them. No. They blow their accounts because they refuse to admit the market was right and they were wrong. The market is always right. Tattoo that into your brain. If you fight the market, you lose. Period. You don't argue with price. You don't negotiate with a trend. You don't try to outsmart a force greater than you. When the market says you're wrong, you get out. Not because you want to, but because survival demands it. And then there's impatience, your biggest enemy. You want money fast. You want results today. You want that euphoric rush that comes when a trade instantly goes in your favor. That greed for speed is the most expensive craving in the world. Patience is what separates the amateurs from the operators. The amateur trades every day because he thinks he has to. The operator trades only when the market presents an opportunity that aligns with his rules. If that opportunity happens today, great. If it doesn't happen for a week, also great. You don't get paid for trading often. You get paid for trading right. You want to win? Then get one thing straight. The market does not pay you for effort. It pays you for accuracy. Let me tell you a story. There was a time I watched a stock rise slowly, step by step, exactly the way a healthy trend behaves. I knew it was accumulating. I knew buyers were stronger than sellers. Everything lined up perfectly. But I didn't trade it. Why? Because my signal hadn't triggered. And I stick to my signals like a lifeline. I waited, and waited, and waited. Finally, the breakout came, but not on my terms. The volume wasn't there. The price action was erratic. My system said no. My instinct said maybe. And maybe is the most dangerous word in the trader's vocabulary. I didn't trade it. The stock exploded the next day, shot up like a rocket. Traders everywhere made money. They bragged, celebrated, thumped their chests. And me? I sat still, watched the whole thing, and felt nothing. Because making money the wrong way is worse than losing money the right way. One undisciplined profit will poison your mind. It convinces you that breaking your own rules is harmless, and that poison eventually kills every trader who swallows it. You want to be a winner? Then crave discipline more than profits. Let's talk about fear. Fear is a necessary companion. You should be afraid. A trader with no fear is a gambler with a death wish, but fear must be controlled. Fear should whisper, not scream. Fear should guide, not paralyze. Winning traders fear two things: big losses and broken rules. Losing traders fear missing out. The fear of missing out is more destructive than the fear of losing money. At least when you fear losses, you're trying to protect yourself. But when you fear missing out, you're chasing shadows. I've watched crowds panic into buying at the top. I've watched them panic into selling at the bottom. The market has no mercy for the emotional. It eats them alive, spits out their ego, and then goes on its merry way. If you want to win, develop emotional indifference. When the market moves, don't cheer. When it goes against you, don't cry. Just observe, decide, act. Your emotions have no place in the execution of your trades. They are assassins disguised as advisors. Most traders can't win because they can't do nothing. Doing nothing is agony for them. They're addicted to action. Their mouse hand twitches. Their mind races. They jump from chart to chart like a child with ADHD in a toy store. You will never win if you behave like that. The market rewards the trader who can sit still longer than anyone else. Sitting still made me more money than any indicator or strategy ever did. Let's be real. Your biggest problem isn't your system. It's you. If I gave you a perfect strategy, one with a proven edge, decades of data, crystal clear rules, you'd still blow your account. You'd break the rules. You'd improvise. You'd doubt the signals when they felt uncomfortable. You'd revenge trade after a loss. You'd increase your size after a win because you feel confident. Confidence kills more traders than fear ever has. You need humility. Humility keeps you alive. Humility reminds you that the market doesn't care about your feelings. Humility stops you from overtrading. Humility forces you to respect your stop loss. Humility is your shield against overconfidence. Without humility, every win becomes a trap. Every loss becomes a drama. Every decision becomes emotional instead of mechanical. Risk management is the only part of trading you fully control. You don't control volume, volatility, price, liquidity, macro pressure, market mood, or global events. You control one thing: how much of your account you put at risk. Most traders blow up not because their analysis was wrong, but because they bet too big. Size kills. Every losing streak becomes catastrophic when you trade oversized, and trust me, losing streaks are inevitable. They're baked into the DNA of the market. A rational trader builds his positions like a fortress. A fool builds his positions like a sandcastle in the tide. The tide always wins. There's one thing you don't want to hear, but I'll say it anyway. Your winning trades are less important than your losing trades. Your losers tell me everything about your future. Do you cut them fast? Do you justify them? Do you hold them just a little longer? Do you pretend the market is wrong and you're right? Do you move your stop loss down like a coward trying to escape responsibility? Show me how you lose, and I'll tell you whether you'll ever win. A winner treats losses like a cost of doing business. A loser treats losses like personal insults. If your ego is tied to your trades, the market will break you. Not maybe, not eventually. It will break you. Let's talk about the deception of hope. Hope has no value in the market. Hope is a beggar's strategy. When a trade goes wrong, the loser hopes. The winner exits. It's simple. If you need hope to justify staying in a position, you're already dead. Winners don't hope. They decide. And then there's greed. Greed is that little voice telling you, just a little more. That voice has wrecked more accounts than bear markets. Let me tell you something. The market pays you, but it also tests you. When you're in profit, the market asks, are you disciplined enough to take your gain? When you're in loss, the market asks, are you disciplined enough to accept defeat? Most traders fail both tests. You want to win? Then learn to take your profits without apology. Learn to take your losses without emotion. Learn to execute your plan without negotiation. The market respects consistency, not enthusiasm. One mindset you must own is this: the market owes you nothing. It doesn't owe you a win just because you need money. It doesn't care about your bills, dreams, or desperation. If you bring desperation into the market, you'll bleed. The market only rewards preparation, discipline, and patience. That's it. I've watched fortunes made and lost. I've made them, and I've lost them. I've been on top of the world and then buried under the rubble of my own mistakes. If there's one thing I learned, it's this: your mind is your edge, not your broker, not your charts, not your newsfeed, your mind. Your ability to control yourself when everyone else loses control, that is the psychology of winning trades. Here's the brutal truth: if you can't control your impulses, you can't trade. If you can't wait for the right moment, you can't trade. If you can't cut losses, you can't trade. If you can't take profits, you can't trade. If you can't follow a plan, you can't trade. If your emotions run your account, you can't trade. You might think you're a trader, but you're just entertainment for the market. It loves people like you, emotional, impulsive, greedy, reckless. The market feeds on your kind. Winning trades come from winning behavior. Losing trades come from losing behavior. Fix the behavior, and the results follow. Manage your risk as if your life depends on it, because in this business, your financial life does. Limit your losses, because a small loss is a cheap lesson. A big loss is a career-ending catastrophe. Protect your capital like it's the last air in your lungs. Never let a trade threaten your survival, ever. Winning trades are the natural result of three things: patience, discipline, and self-respect. Yes, self-respect. Because when you respect yourself, you stop letting the market treat you like a plaything. You stop taking reckless trades. You stop gambling. You stop sabotaging your own progress. Respect yourself enough to follow your rules. Respect yourself enough to wait for your setups. Respect yourself enough to survive long enough to win. Because if you can't survive, you can't win. Let me leave you with this final punch in the gut. The real battle in trading has never been against the market. The real battle is always against the person staring back at you in the mirror. Master him, and the market becomes your ally. Fail to master him, and the market becomes your executioner. You want to win? Then get ruthless with yourself. Cut the excuses. Cut the fantasies. Cut the emotional nonsense. Show up with discipline, patience, and respect for risk. Only then do you deserve to catch winning trades. Only then do you earn the right to stay in this business. Only then will the psychology of winning become your reality. Because truthfully, you're not fighting the market. You're fighting the weaker version of yourself. And only one of you will survive.